Good morning and welcome to Gulfstream today. Brian Nato and Samantha Perry with you on another beautiful day here in Hollandale Beach. You can see overlooking the infield there. We're fast, we're firm. We've got the Tapeta as well. And I was off yesterday, but there were some situations yesterday which lead to 600,000 in the Rainbow Six today, huh?
Yeah,
a lot of drama.
Yeah, it was, and it probably got a lot of people excited. But today's a new day, so let's try for it again.
Ron Nicoletti is off today, but he's got Rainbow Six duty. We'll take a look at his ticket a little later on, and there you can see $600,000 in that gross jackpot guarantee, and that kicks off in race 4. It's a really good Thursday card as well. A couple good maiden special weights. Again, as I mentioned, the firm turf course, the early pick 5 kicks off in the opener at 12:10 p.m. And this is a good one, maiden special weight on the turf. We'll take a look at my ticket, $36, scratch down from 48. We'll go 4 deep in here, 3 deep in race number 2, Small Reason on top, 3 deep with number 2, Mr. Cellular in the third. 65 is the order. That's my long shot, Queen Calypso, going to lose a little value there with Unzi's Dream coming out. And then my best bet of the day could be significant too. Tony Dutrow at 1,998 career victories. I got him twice today, and that could be number 2,000, my best bet of the day. Galileo's Drool, $36. So back to the opener here. Samantha, maiden fillies, 3-year-old, going 7.5, a tricky distance on this firm turf course. In a good race, too. I think there's a lot of different ways you can go, and this is a perfect segue because you've got a horse I don't have at all, and I know you've got a replay as well, right?
Yeah, I do. This is of a breeze at Palm Meadows where Brian Lynch does his training here. This is just towards the end of the breeze. Holy Foley's on the outside, and take note, Grace Starling, on the inside. Grace Starling on the outside will actually be running in the the 5th race today. So I just like this work here. It's a quick breeze because the dogs are all the way down, so they're able to work on the inside of the turf course here. And I just like the way that Holy Foley just travels across this turf here. Now, Steve Asmussen used to have this filly, and now is in the hands of Brian Lynch. And Steve Asmussen is an incredible trainer. Nobody can deny that. But as far as turf horses go, you don't see a lot of it. And Brian Lynch has been striking so hot as of late, hoping to get a little bit of a price here.
I will say this as we get through the body of this field. It does seem like a spot that a new face might not be in a bad spot.
Right, exactly.
I went to the number 4, kind of a new face as well. I mentioned Tony Dutrow is going to run a couple on the turf here today. La Maiselle is one of them. We haven't seen her since Saratoga in September. We'll take a look at a trainer stat here for Tony D, and one of the good guys here, and 6 for 38, a big, huge ROI, maiden special weight on the turf the past 5 years. So when you win 6 races from a sizable sample and the ROI is 720, that is a giant number. Tony's going to try to turn this trick twice today. Another horse adding Lasix and a fresh new face. The 7 for you, Ready She Is. George Weaver got a little tightener last time, I think.
Yep, and I think that's the best word to describe it. She got a tightener. Luis Saez stays aboard here. It's always hard for a horse making her first start, going 2 turns. It was mid-pack post position draw, which I don't mind, but I think she just got bounced around a little more than she needed to be, and I think that she'll have a better go at it.
Delahaye is a firster for Chad Brown. Javier Castellano, the Hall of Famer Javier Castellano, has been in such good form now for probably the better part of a month. This is an interesting one. Nice pedigree here. First foal out of an unraced dam.
Yeah, it is, and you have to respect everything from this barn that they send over, especially on the grass here. Now, I know you could maybe make a case last weekend. He didn't really have the greatest of weekends, but if you look at his maidens that he was debuting, they were on the dirt.
Yeah.
Chad Brown, he can run on both surfaces for sure, but you prefer him on the turf.
Yeah, without a doubt. I would think this horse is live, and we'll take some money here. Early pick 4 time in race number 2. We're on a fast main track. We go a 1-turn mile here. These are 4-year-olds and up. The tag is 8. Samantha on early pick 4 duty.
I am, and this is a 1350 play for me. This second race, this is one that you could go so many different ways, so I just settled on Bobby's Gift here, Bobby DeBona, Sonny Leon looking for back-to-back wins. I like the fact that this horse just really takes well to the 1 mile distance, the 1-turn mile distance that is. Race 3, 3 is my top pick, Last Dream from the Ralph Nix barn, also going another 1-turn mile. Race number 4, the 4, Opinogo.
Sure.
Opongo? I'll have to ask Pete on that one. I should have asked before, but a new hitter here in this race. And in race number 5 to end everything, another really nice maiden special weight on the grass. The 6 Idle Chatter is my top pick coming from the Sisterson barn, but also really love Grace Starling, who we saw in that work replay a bit earlier.
$13.50. I'll let you lead it off with Bobby's Gift, the 2-horse. Bobby DeBona getting back now, a little quiet of late, but he's starting to hit the entry box again. And this is a horse that's proven pretty useful for Bobby.
Yeah, and this 1-turn mile is a tricky distance for some horses, and this colt has really taken an affinity for it. So I think when in a race like this, there's going to be some speed up front. I think that this is a horse that has a nice stalking chance.
I agree. You did not use Small Reason at all. I just thought, I know rising in class out of the restricted race, but Shamir Mirage does a good job. I thought this horse ran really well last time. I know he beat a lot lesser. It was a strong win. He got shuffled back a little bit. I kind of think this is an okay spot to be coming in off a win and off a class rise.
Yeah, it is. And the distance for me is just kind of what worries me a little bit. This horse could be the speed of the race on the stretch out here. But if not, Luis Saez, he knows this horse well. And Rhymes Like Dimes, who ran second, came back to win really impressively. So I think that flatters him some.
Tone Feeling is going to get a piece. How much is the question, because he's had a penchant for running underneath of late.
Yeah, he has, and that's why I put him second here. I do like the fact that he continues to keep the weight off of him here, which will play to his advantage, but still just can't find the winner's circle.
No, he's been very useful, but, 6 for 40, it is what it is. So we'll take a look at race 3 now. 12-5 maiden claimers, as Samantha mentioned, another 1-turn mile here. These are 4-year-olds and up. The tag 12-5, as I said. We'll start Last Dream for you. The 3 seems to be moving forward for Ralph Nix.
Yeah, and seems is the key word here. You hope that this horse can get it done this time around. Has been played a little bit in the first 2 starts here in this new year, but still just hasn't gotten there. I think this extra 1 furlong will really help, though.
Yeah, I went with Mr. Cellular. To be completely honest with you, I didn't want to take any of these horses.
Right.
And I understand that no one in 7 starts, some good trainers, Bobby DeBona, Larry Ravelli, Safi, now Claudio Gonzalez, none of them have run this horse on the main track. Maybe he's not, at Kitten's Joy on the bottom of the pedigree.
Right.
Give me somebody new against this kind of group.
Yeah, you have to. And I was talking with Ron about this yesterday. When horses try something new for the first time, and it's not like this is necessarily new, they do their training over the dirt track, but still, they can just really explode sometimes.
Yeah, we'll see what we get. Should be a decent little price in here as well. The 4 Chief Rocca is out, so, you lose 35 points on the morning line. Everybody's coming down a little bit.
Yeah.
Take note of that. Tactical Force is one of the logical ones, too.
Yeah, it is, and David Fox is starting to get on a roll here as well. Miguel Vasquez had a chance to ride this horse last time, so maybe some things will head the right direction.
We'll take a break here on Gulfstream today. When we come back, Rainbow 6 times, $600,000 in the gross jackpot guarantee. Ronnie's got a ticket. Stay tuned.
This is a championship meet. All the best jockeys in the world are here, and I'm excited to ride against them.
We back.
And you get to watch some really incredible, talented athletes out there.
To us, it's a place to be in the winter.
I love Gulfstream Park because of the racing.
The palm trees, the beach is right here. The horse racing is some of the best in the country.
A lot of good horses come out of here. And if you want to go to the next level, Gulfstream Park was the place to come.
I remember the first time I came to Gulfstream, it was like this big fairy tale place. All the history.
Shoemaker sitting perfectly still. He hasn't touched this magnificent colt, and here comes the finish.
And all these great horses, trainers, jockeys. It was everything that I ever dreamed of.
And welcome back to Gulfstream today. Brian and Samantha with you. Another beautiful day here in Hollandale Beach. We're fast, we're firm. The Tapeta in play as well. And the Rainbow 6 is too. Here in race 4, $600,000 in the gross jackpot guarantee. Ron Nicoletti put a ticket together. He's reworked it after the scratches. We'll take a look at it now. It is the playbook, 4320, and all Ronnie's picks will be online and Twitter and all that. So he's got the 3x2. No single in here, so his best bet's got to be a little earlier in the card. I'm just taking a look at the ninth race. Both the late double is really good on the turf, and then the maiden special weights on the Tapeta, and he's going to go just too deep in race 8. He's got my top 2, right? I thought it was a problematic race, but those are the same 2 I use, and he's got a very logical Stanley House to me in the finale at what is a price, and he's got a couple others. 43.20. We know, Ronnie, that is the playbook there, so take note of that. He hit it last week, I believe, and it is getting big, and yesterday 3 live bullets in the finale. Whoever was out there, tough beat for a lifetime score, but that's why we come back the next day.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly. Fire again.
There you go. So back to race 4 here. We are on the Tapeta for the first time on the card. 5 furlongs, fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and up. The tag is 10. You go to number 4.
Yeah,
high percentage
good call there.
Scooter Davis. Barn Paco got a win yesterday.
Yeah, I did. And I had to rework this race with the scratch here. And my second place horse, She's Classy. I have this theory, Brian, that horses have trouble coming to win back-to-back on the Tapeta. So that would be my horse that I would have scratched into, but I switched it up. This horse, a new shooter. She's 8 years old. She's got a lot of speed, and she's made a lot of money for kind of running in these, I wouldn't want to say bush tracks, but just tracks that are not as popular. Yeah. And she's been so consistent. This is a really nice distance for her, this flat 5 furlongs. This is her specialty, that kind of 4.5, 5 distance, and we'll see what we get here.
I think you won't have to look hard to find her, that's for sure, because Paco will certainly be aggressive here. Queen Calypso is my long shot today, and we do scratch the 8, Onesies Dream, so I'll lose a little value there. But I just think this worked for me the other day on a horse that had been inside and breaking last. Now, this horse hasn't really had a problem breaking, but she's been fried as the inside speed in her last 2 races, excuse me. Now she finally gets outside. Maybe it's a different set of circumstances. You know your pick is going to go. You want to be close on the Tapeta. You don't want to give up too much ground. Maybe this is a better draw for her. She should be a square price as well. We both got a lot of interest in the 5. She's Classy. We'll bring up a trainer set here. Jose D'Angelo and Jose Ortiz. It's a pretty good stat, too. These are lower level claimers. 9 for 25, 36%. It's positive, a big ROI, too, all things considered. This is a horse that comes in off not only a win, a fast win, too.
Yeah, it was. And I'm kind of thinking that she might react off of that, which is why I opted to play against her here. But she's been very productive on this Tapeta. 3 wins, 3 seconds, 1 show. I mean, she's always right there. Might get on the wrong end of her today. She was a price when she won last time, which with those kind of stats with Jose, you don't see that often. So the word wasn't out on her, so we'll have to see what we get here.
Yeah, like she said, she likes winning races, especially on the Tapeta. Your horse does as well. 27 for 49 lifetime. Really cool to see those hard old knockers in there. Late pick 5 time now in race number 5. We're on a firm turf course. Another good maiden special weight today. Samantha, these are for the 3-year-old fillies. Samantha's got a ticket to take a look at.
I do, and this is a really nice sequence here and an opportunity to really kind of look outside the box. Going to get to this race in just a moment. Race 6, the number 1, See My Meister, is my top selection. In race number 7, my best bet of the day, the 6, is the single Economic Hangover, Safi Joseph and Irad Ortiz. If it was any other barn, I would worry about this, but I don't really have a worry in this spot here. In race number 8, a really competitive $20,000 mile on the grass sequence. I could have added 3 more horses in this race. It was a really tough one. My top pick, though, is the 9 out of that French Franc, hoping that first off the claim for Elizabeth Dobles will get it done. And in race number 9, a Tapeta race, 1 mile and 70 yards, taking a Chad Brown runner and the infamous Justin's Legacy, $36 to end the sequence.
Sore spot for you there. My late double is 6x6, so I am picking up what you're putting down. You'll be out in the paddock for this one, and this is good because we want to see what these 3-year-old fillies look like. There's a lot of well-bred horses in there. You're going to go with a firster for a Coolmore and Jack Sisterson. Good to see Jack get a Coolmore horse. Very good, actually. And talk to me about this Justify filly.
So she's actually been scratched 2 different times. The first time she was in with males. They entered her on the grass with males. Second time she drew like the 12 out of 12, I think it was. They scratched her. I think they've just been sitting on this filly.
Yep.
We've got a work replay here, and this was from about a month ago, I believe, but I had watched this prior to the male race and wanted to put her on top immediately on that. Now she's on the outside here working with King Silvio, and I just love the way she covers the ground, Brian. The turf looked a little bit soft that day. You see the kind of kickback, but she's just a big, long, striding filly. Now, when you think Jack Sisterson, you don't think of him to win first time out, but this is a filly that there's no way she's going to be 10-1. I think the word will get out on her. I love the way that she's been training for this, and she's just, look how much bigger she is than the one on the inside. So I think that I'm hoping that the hype lives up to it.
Yeah, and to Jack's credit, he popped with a first-time starter, C. Hunter, I believe, a horse he owned, going 5, I think, on the turf. So he can do it, and like I said, it's good to see him get a horse like this for connections like this. I'm back with Tony D, hopefully for Tony D, and, well, for me too. This is win number 2,000. This is my best bet of the day, Galileo's Jewel, who I thought probably, in hindsight, needed the race on debut. 6 furlongs at Aqueduct. That is nothing what she wants to do. I mean, the dam was 2 for 8. She did break her maiden in her second start. The dam was a half to Alpha Centauri, who, if you're not familiar with, was a 5-time Group 1 winner, star 3-year-old filly in Europe, won the 1,000 Guineas, the Irish 1,000 Guineas, Coronation, the Jacques Moreau. Serious horse. And we'll bring the stat up again, guys. It's the same stat in the opener, Tony D, in maiden special weights on the turf, and a big ROI as well. What I thought was significant that he had this horse at Tampa. She's coming over here to run for 84 grand.
Yeah, and that's a very, like you said, significant play here. This is a trainer that doesn't make a lot of moves like this, I feel like. And this is a race that we actually showed the replay of quite a few times last week just due to Candle running.
Yeah, the shrub horse.
Yep, and a couple weeks before that, or a week before that, Sweet Lou's Got Aces, who came back to win after that race. And I think that this filly has a lot of upside. These Kingman fillies, I think they want to go long, and this is going to be her play. And at least she'll have the tightener for it.
Yeah, and Sweet Lou's Got Aces for Ray Handel came back to break her maiden a stakes and did it impressively.
Yeah.
Candle, I think, ran an 86 buyer in this spot, so that was a very fast, productive race.
Yeah.
I think she's here to fire. She's not going to be 4-1, but the question is, what do they do with Accept the Outcome? The Chad Brown, Seth Klarman firster, Irad is here. They're going to bet her a little bit too.
Yeah, they've got to, and watch the tote board too in the paddock, because it's been right. Whoever they are, they've been right as far as betting these Chad horses. Lasix for the first time. Not a huge fan of no, nay, nevers. They're usually just like big, just not very proportionate fillies. So we'll see how she looks here. And Klarovich, they always bring the fire.
Yeah, not a lot of pedigree here either. No. So we'll see what we get. 4th full out of the dam. The other 3 weren't a lot, but again, it's an ace, absolute ace Eclipse connection. So she'll take some money as well. Late pick 4 time here on the Tapeta, routing in race 6. It's a 20,000 2L for the 4-year-olds. Take a look at my ticket, and as I kind of mentioned to Samantha, this is the pyramid here for you now. 72 is the order in race 6. Bad Bobby. I'm excited to see him back on the Tapeta. Here's the single in race number 7. She said it perfectly. I got to go with Economic Hangover over Harrington Rocket just for the Tapeta experience, and then we'll throw something at the wall, and hopefully it will stick in the late double. The top pick is the 3, Laniakia Storm. In race number 9, the top pick is the 6, coming down for Woodbine for Mike DePaulo. Stanley House. That's $36. It's a good sequence. We'll get back to this race here, number 6. And you've got a replay of Board Certified in here, the 2.
I do, and I think that they're going to bet this horse. And I just wanted to show this replay to kind of explain the type of horse he is. Here he is on the far turn, and he looks like he's going to just close on like a freight train. He switched his leads. Maybe he wasn't ever going to go past the 9, but for a second I thought, okay, this horse, might win. He looked pretty game, but he just hangs.
Yeah.
This is a horse that when he doesn't get there, he has no interest, and I don't like to play horses like that.
No, it's fair, and that's why he's 1 for 19 with 8 underneath finishes. You are what you are, and Fausto Gutierrez is not winning races. The first time I feel like that in the better part of a year and a half where the barn horses are running well, they're not winning races, and you might want to fade those kind of horses on top. So you went to see my Meister down inside getting IRAD for Kelsey Danner.
Yeah, and this is a barn that's been striking very hot as of late as well. Has a local work here at Gulfstream Park. Obviously, that's not on the Tapeta, but has Tapeta experience here, and I think a little bit of class relief is going to help this colt as well.
Well, yeah, you look at the race the last time this one was on Tapeta, you're facing Stat and Meteorito. Those horses would be, they would be something to 5, and there'd probably be a 3 or a 4 in front of the 5 in this. I've been waiting for Bad Bobby to get back on the Tapeta. I think that's what he wants to do. He certainly doesn't want to run one turn on the main track. I want to look at the race 3 back where he was second. Jose Garofalo wins Tapeta races. Jose Ortiz is here. The blinkers go on. I'm expecting a big form reversal from him today.
It really should be. And I had a hard time deciding between the 1 and the 7, and I think this is a horse that could be really live here.
Late pick 3 in the 7th, and we're back routing a mile and a 16th on the Tapeta. It's a good one here. 4-year-olds and up, fillies and mares. The tag is 50. It's a 2L, so we've got some pretty classy horses. We both land on the 6 and the 8, and you're not going to call it a match race, but these are clearly these two, Economic Hangover and Harrington Rocket, lay over this field, at least on form.
They do, and Economic Hangover at least has the Tapeta experience here. Harrington Rocket, still some questions. And sometimes when a horse is just that good, it doesn't matter the surface, but as far as the way that things have been going for the Chad Brown barn and the way that things are going for the Saffie Joseph barn, I'll take Saffie over Chad right now.
Yeah, and you just don't know. We like to say horses that have run well on turf are going to handle the Tapeta, but it's not the end-all be-all, and it's different for each individual, and it's sitting right there in front of you. Economic Hangover has handled it and run well, and she's in for 50. They're not giving her away, and Ken Ramsey likes to win races, so I just kind of feel like she's the one in here. Now, with all that being said, Harrington Rocket is coming out of a really, really good race at Keeneland, now, albeit in October.
Yeah, and you kind of wonder about the layoff with that. But on the Tapeta, as we're kind of gotten a little bit further into the season, I feel like the layoffs aren't as significant than as they would be on the dirt or turf per se. But this could be a race where if the 6 or the 8 don't hit the board, they could just not hit the board at all, and somebody from completely left field
it's probably utter chaos if it's not. I mean, there are a few horses with decent form, but I feel like the gap from the 6 and the 8 to the rest of them it's a pretty seismic one, and I'd be okay. I wasn't going to play this ticket for $72, but if I could, I would. You want to use them both. Maybe you play one heavier than the other that you like. So let's get into the late double, and we've got time to talk about it because it is. Could be a lot of craziness going on. It's a wide open sequence. You go to the outside with French Franc off the claim for Liz Dobles. Let me bring up the stat for Liz off the claim, and then I'll throw it to you, and you can elaborate on her and the horse, because she's just been doing this now for quite some time, and you team her with John with Imaginary, 29%, a big positive ROI off the claim. And the good thing, I think it's a good thing. I know French Franc has got a rise in class. She comes in off a sharp win.
Yeah, it was. And that was this, I think, was a good claim for $20,000 here. And like you like to say, they weren't just giving her away. She was a bit life and death to win that race, though. I don't particularly like the fact that she was just kind of lugging in a bit, but that was due to her just being on her left lead. Paco Lopez, he's a smart guy. He can do his work, and hopefully, maybe the stick will be in the left hand that time to kind of veer her out from that. But I think she's on the right way right now.
Yeah, and that race plays with this group too, and it's arguably faster than this group has been running. So I think she's certainly a major player. And as I mentioned, Liz and John, you team them together. They just put horses in the right spot, and that's another reason why you're seeing that is stats like that, 28, 29% off the claim. I came back to Laniakia Storm. I know she's probably better on the Tapeta, but I think we all respect the job Jose D'Angelo does, and he doesn't really run horses where they don't belong. So the fact he put her here on the turf, I think, is significant.
Yeah, and her only her first try at the grass was a winning one, and her only one. So you can hope that she'll just improve off of that. Granted, that was almost a year ago, but still, she's got a bit of a layoff to answer to, and that's the only reason I put her down a little further.
She had a heck of a trip last time, too, albeit on the Tapeta. And like Samantha said, she is 1-for-1 on turf. It was slow. It was 16 maiden claimers. We'll see what we get today. It's kind of where the dart landed. And then from there, we are all over the place. I went 6 deep. I don't have the 8. current situation?
This one, I wonder if this horse could get loose in here.
Okay,
That was my idea with this.
With a speed rider?
Exactly, and I think that this is going to be this mare's best shot of winning or getting a piece of it is going to the lead. So maybe the speed will hold.
Well, we haven't really talked about the race flow, and you're right. I mean, it's there for the taking. Maybe
Right.
Downton Tabby down inside, but she's not full of speed herself, and
Right.
it just looks like a spread race. Kizzy's 20-1 on the morning line. I don't know if you're going to get that, but she'll be a decent number in here. She was really rank and uncomfortable early last time, and now she gets a little better post. Don't
Right.
sleep on her. She's not going to be this big of a price, but she's not out of the realm of possibility. And again, in a race where we think there's a lot of possibilities as well. Speaking of a lot of possibilities, maiden special weight on the Tapeta in the finale for the 3-year-olds, 1.70 miles. Boy, there's a lot of possibilities, and there's a lot of superstar barns and potential good horses in here.
Yeah, this is tough. And I like to say that if a trainer has two in the same race, you should take both on your tickets. But you would be playing like so many deep because Todd Pledger's got two, Chad Brown's got two.
Yeah.
You just, what do you do here? This is a tough race because it is on the Tapeta. And I looked at it a few times, making sure I had the right surface when I was looking at this. And the number 9, Justin's Legacy, was a bit of a steam horse last out. Just a bit. And that was a tough beat. And he was drawn.
We got the replay, right?
I've got the replay here. He looked like he was going to win it. Now, this was this horse's first start, going 2 turns, had the rail trip. Here he is on the rail at 2. And this is not a very well put together horse, but when he moves, he's much better looking, and he has like an Arabian tail. I'm just not a big fan of those horses, but this is a horse that was so game last out. He's had a nice time of res. Now, Mooncat came and just wiped him right at the end. That was tough, and I think there was actually an inquiry that lasted a bit too long. Mooncat was a nice winner there, but don't take anything away from Justin's Legacy. He was working on the Tapeta prior to this race, and those were the works that I think kind of got the steam on him because he just flew. But I went and I watched the February 12th work. Now, that was just an in-hand 50 breeze. Wasn't as impressive prior for his race when he debuted. So, I don't know. He could be vulnerable. I don't think it's as easy as him.
Yeah, no, I agree. I thought he kind of had to win last time, too. I know a decent horse ran him down. We'll see what we get, and that was on the turf, and here we are on the Tapeta. I don't have to worry about Stanley House. He's run well on the Tapeta. Sprinting at Woodbine, I'd like to think he's going to be a lot closer today. He was basically getting run off his feet. They're going 44-1, 44-4. They're not going to do that today. I would think he's a lot closer under Javier, and he seems to like the surface. And, you know, say what you will. You mentioned the 2 Todds. You mentioned the 2 Chads. I don't know. They're unknowns, and I don't think we have to worry about it with Stanley House. You've got a replay, right, or a work of Turf King?
Yes, I do. So this was at the OBS sale, and I just thought it was kind of pertinent to this just because this was over the Tapeta. So you can kind of see the number 1 Turf King, how he works across. Now, it took him a little bit to switch into his right lead here. This stamped $180,000 price tag on this horse. For the OBS March sale, that's not that much money. They can go for a lot more than that.
I like the point you made there because I've got it kind of circled on my form too. Kingman stands for $200,000.
Exactly.
And you would think if a Kingman here in the States that you'd go for $600,000. Now, it is what it is. It's just food for thought. But I think it's a good point that you bring up the work that was on the Tapeta, and then from there we're kind of all over the place. As you mentioned, Top Pletcher's got a couple firsters, but again, they're on the Tapeta.
You don't know exactly.
You don't know. So it's a spread race. I think it's a potential key race kind of in the making. It's a race to take note of the also-rans as well. And it's a heck of a race to get out of the sequence because it's ending everything today. So we'll see what we get. That's the 9, and it's as good a Thursday card as we're going to run here. So we hope to have you aboard. But before we leave you, we'll take a look at the Lightning Round and the Winter Carnival. Is Saturday. Our friends up in Laurel at our sister track. Stay warm up there, Phil and Dave and the gang. But they've got 6 stakes on Saturday, totaling $900,000. The General George, the Fritchie. It's a power card up there, and so we're looking forward to kind of monitoring that from afar. But up close and personal. Kathleen O schooled yesterday, right?
Yep.
And we like her, and she was good here last year. What'd you think of seeing her? Because she's front and center in the Royal Delta on Saturday.
Yeah, she looked good, and she really hasn't grown much from this race here to what we saw yesterday, but I think she's always going to be just a smaller filly. And
Yeah.
I know Ron's very excited for her. He took about 25 minutes to tweet a video of her yesterday schooling, so.
Oh, it must have been like 6 words.
It was a lot for him.
Typing out. She's a very tiny filly, very talented filly
Yes.
as well for Shug McGahee. Best bet for you today?
Economic hangover here.
All right.
Yeah.
My best bet is Galileo's Duel for Tony D. It could be victory number 2,000. It will come sooner than later for one of the good guys. And your long shot?
Idle Chatter in the 5th race. Yep.
Okay.
Also coming out of the same race. We'll see.
I am Queen Calypso in the 4th, but that's going to be tempered a little bit with a big scratch of onesies. Dream Beat the Expert is me. I'm going to try to get more wins than the last time I was Beat the Expert.
That's just one, right?
Hey,
I'm
you don't have to
kidding.
mention that. I think I tied you that day, though.
That's true.
As well, so I will try. That shirt needs to be ironed, so it might not be in the rotation on Saturday. And last but not least, sadly, we lost John Veach, the Hall of Fame trainer, who, of course, trained a Hall of Famer in Alydar and amongst many others, Florida Derby. And Alydar never won a championship. It was in the Hall of Fame. John Veach, 18.5% of his lifetime wins were in graded stakes. That's remarkable.
Impressive. Yeah. I mean, you don't see that often at all.
And the stat was less than 1% of our races are graded stakes. So put that into perspective on how good a horseman he is. So our condolences to all his friends and family. We rest in peace, John Veach. So 9 races here. We'll send it upstairs to track announcer Pete Aiello. The changes, the scratches. We'll be back with you here. 12:10 opener, early pick 5. Thanks.